the manager feels about him by putting him on the bench at the end of last season, getting on in the cup final. He really had no right to do that. He's been out injured for a long time, but the manager feels he's one of those players that he might make it into the first 11. And I just feel right from the start, I mean, he can play central midfield, he can play in wide positions. He's another one who's so versatile, but he has that pace that maybe the rest of them don't have, and there's a bit more control in his game now. You know, there he misses the target, but you know, I've been a big fan of his right from the off. He's an intelligent boy, he uses the ball well, and he has that ingredients that you need to play for me at a top club. It's just he had been denied with his fitness, so he needs a run of form where he's available to the manager. The selection process is one. He's with a group of great players, and he's got to break in, and he really made his mark yesterday. He was laying down the law. Look, I'm ready, pick me, this is what I can do.
He was feeding off the energy of others around him, Richard, like Mesut Ozil. And interesting, Arsene Wenger said after the game he expects this to be Ozil's best season yet. He knows he didn't necessarily get off to the greatest of start. It's certainly in the eyes of some of the fans.
Well, he got better as the season went on, and I think all the attacking midfielders from Arsenal benefited from Coquelin coming into the team, giving him that stability in the defensive midfield and allowing the attacking players to go on and play with freedom and express themselves. I thought Ozil's running off the ball was sensational yesterday, considering it's so early on in the season, still pre-season. And he stretched those lines very, very well, allowed Ramsey to get on the ball, Coquelin to get on the ball, and I was very impressed with what I saw from him yesterday.
Ian Wright on Twitter yesterday, he's often with us here, was absolutely purring over Ozil's performance. Another man who really impressed, Aaron Ramsey.
Awesome. I think of standout player. I mean, he was for me the man of the match. I mean, key passes and involvement in most of the goals. And again, he had a great season last season. I know there's been talk about his positional sense or where he belongs in this side.
Well, to me, his energy is something that is underestimated. He started that move for that goal, and he makes the yards into the box. He can finish now as well. And this is where almost the pressure comes back onto the manager. And I'm not looking to do that, but picking the best 11 is not going to be easy here. Ramsey's been playing in a wide position. Sanchez has gone onto the left. Once into that central position, that was his position, that was his natural home. So that really denies, they can't all play in there. So it's about fitting those pieces together in that jigsaw puzzle, and that's going to be very tricky.
So many options, so many young players as well. A man who came into the team yesterday and really he stars on the day, didn't he? Alex Iwobi, he's the nephew of JJ Okocha, big boots to fill, David, but very impressive in the game.
Again, he was impressive yesterday, and I think as we said it before the show yesterday, that this is a great tournament again because you're here at Arsenal, you're here in front of the home fans, and after winning the cup, people want to see why Arsene Wenger hasn't spent the money, and Arsene Wenger would argue that he's got the talent already here, and this lad with his goal that he scored, with the one that was disallowed, almost a disappointment. It's a lovely finish, and again Aaron Ramsey was heavily involved in the build-up there, but a disappointment of the goal that was disallowed. You can see that he wants to be part of this Arsenal side going forward.
Gets the players on their feet.
Well, Arsene Wenger just has to have a young player that's coming through. That's part of it. You know, Akpam is another one. That they give you that energy, and he's always looking to the future to bring one of those Arsenal players through.
And another man they're going to see today, all these Arsenal fans for the very first time in an Arsenal strip here at the Emirates, is Petr Cech. It's going to be a little bit strange. I just want to take you back to yesterday, David, because we had a really good debate at the beginning of that show. Now, you effectively said that you think Chelsea have got the better of this deal, albeit you did say you also think Cech's a great signing for Arsenal. So just explain.
Well, Cech's a great goalkeeper. I mean, historically, he's probably the best in the Premier League, has to be said. At 33 years old, he's not currently at his best form. In the last 3 years, you would argue that he hasn't been at his best form because the standard that he set when he signed for Chelsea, I think the first season he conceded 15 goals. I mean, he has been an absolute monster when it comes to goalkeeping. And in patches last season, the 7 games he played in the Premier League, 5 clean sheets. But that's not a big enough number of games to really judge him over that season. Now, at 33 years old, as I said, you could argue that maybe he's towards the tail end of his career. My argument is my form got better when I was 36 years old, so there is still the potential for the Czech to become, once again, the goalkeeper that Chelsea first had.
But Richard, the bottom line is that not a great signing for Arsenal? Mentality-wise, everything else, Premier League winner coming to the club with a relatively young squad who actually need the winning experience.
Yeah, for all those reasons, Darryl, for me it's an excellent signing. I think Arsenal have probably needed someone at the back there that they can really rely on, someone that we know how good they are going forward. Defensively, they've had their frailties, which they seem to sort out towards the back end of last season. But just having someone who's been there and done it with the authority that Petr Cech command. I think it's a fantastic signing for him.
How much better does he make them, Martin? And
well, I mean, just going back to Jerome's point, I mean, listen, they're both good signings, but I think Petr Cech is a better signing because it's just what Arsenal needed. They've had a succession of young goalkeepers. Jens Lehmann was the last goalkeeper that Arsene Wenger spent any money on. He came with a great deal of experience. They went unbeaten for the whole season. It almost says it all. You need that experience, you need that drive. This fella comes in with an incredible record, and he wants everyone else to be at his level. He's going to raise the bar in that dressing room. He's demanding. He wants to be a winner.
Defenders right in front of him, probably.
Correct. And I think he then, it's not about the back four, sorry for goalkeepers, it's about the back five. You gel together as a group, and if he's demanding, he puts you on your toes. And Petr Cech is coming in just at the right time. You want that kind of winner here.
He's coming as number 2. Yeah, he is proven. But
Begovic has not played there at a top-level club. Yes, he has the ingredients to do it, but we don't know if he can do it.
I do agree. I mean, because Arsenal haven't won the league since that year, the Invincibles year. Was it 11 years ago, 12 years ago? Petr Cech has historically been, as I say, the best goalkeeper in the Premier League. But Arsenal's problem are many. It's not just the goalkeeper. There is a slight improvement there, but I think they could have got a better improvement by bringing defenders as opposed to the goalkeeper. Petr Cech is not the solution.
I think the defenders are okay. I think the work was done in the last transfer window. Gabriel's coming in. Chambers can play centre-half. Debuchy can play centre-half. There's lots of options there. Arsene Wenger doesn't need to spend money.
36 goals conceded last season.
Yes, but maybe it was better than the year before. I think it's improved.
Gentlemen, you two could debate this all day, and we will do that again a bit later on. But coming up next, we'll start our build-up really to our first match of the day, which is Lyon against Villarreal. Lyon, of course, trying to recover from that 6-0 thrashing yesterday. Villarreal, probably the underdogs for this tournament. They're in the Europa League, finished 6th in La Liga, but they beat Wolfsburg by 2-1 yesterday. That is the build-up to the main event here today, which of course is Arsenal against Wolfsburg. That's 4:20 p.m. and we're expecting the Emirates to be absolutely packed later on for that one. Despite the conditions today, doesn't really feel like July in London, does it? We'll be back shortly.
This month on BTTV, we bring you some of the best films of the last year. The Oscar winners. For Best Actor, The Theory of Everything. Best Actress, Still Alice. Best Sound Editing, American Sniper. And Best Director and Picture, Birdman. The Oscar winners of 2015. All available now to rent or buy from BTTV.
Time is the overseer of all things. It sees men plan their dreams, sees them build their kingdoms. It sees them become legendary. Will you build an empire that lasts forever? Game of War. Play for free now from the App Store.
I'm pursuing a new PB.
I'm pursuing the next climb.
I'm pursuing wide open spaces.
I'm pursuing fresh tracks.
I'm pursuing another level.
Whatever you're pursuing, join Sport Pursuit today. Get daily deals on top sports and outdoor brands with up to 70% off. SportPursuit.com.
Bet on the first goal scorer, and if he scores first, you win. If he gets another, we'll double your odds. And if he gets a hat-trick, we'll treble them.
So keep it fun and gamble responsibly.
If you love football, you'll love a bit of Betfriend.
Colin saved money at Money Supermarket. And now he feels epic. Colin, you're so Money Supermarket.
If you've been refused a loan, Don't lose your cool. Visit Amigo Loans. We're fast, friendly and fuss-free. We've already approved over 160,000 people, and every 10 minutes we approve someone new. You can borrow up to £5,000 with a guarantor for whatever you need. Spread your repayments over 1 to 5 years with a representative 49.9% APR variable. So don't lose your cool. Visit amigoloans.co.uk today.
One day, a shell found on a beach in Mauritius will go here. A picture of your daughter's graduation will go here. And one day, there'll be pictures of grandchildren here. But for today, it's just a brilliant place for a snooze. Neville Johnson, bespoke lounge, study and bedroom furniture, handcrafted for life. For our latest brochure, visit nevillejohnson.co.uk.
The more you move, the more you sweat. Sure Motion Sense technology keeps you fresh when you move. It has unique microcapsules that contain fragrance. Friction breaks the capsules, releasing freshness that lasts all day. Whether you're meeting a deadline, grabbing a bite, or heading out for the night. Motion Sense, protection to keep you moving. Sure, it won't let you down.
Thanks for joining us at the Emirates today. We saw some great action yesterday. We're not far from kick-off now in our first game on this Sunday afternoon as Europa League side Villarreal take on French runners-up Lyon. And there's even umbrellas on the pitch today. There's a few pitch sides as well. Not quite the sunshine that we saw yesterday. Let's recap all the team news for you. Yeah, these are some of the substitutes and some of the players who featured for Lyon yesterday. They're not playing today, some of the stars you'll see there, and that's because they've made 11 changes to their starting lineup. 5 players are either 20 or under in this team, and there is one older statesman. You might recognise the name of Steed Malbronk, the captain ex-Spurs. Wonder what kind of reception he'll get here. Arnold Mbemba as well, who's here today, ex-Portsmouth player, played with Richard Hughes and David James, maybe mention him shortly. Claude Beauvu's in there as well, new signing, played for Guingamp last season, scored a whole heap of goals as well. He's an exciting new signing. As for Villarreal, maybe don't have the same strength and depth in their squad, so 4 players who began the game yesterday also start today, including the captain Bruno, who looked very good. In goal there's a change though. Alphonse Areola, who's on loan from PSG, starts. One for the future, they say, one right now for Villarreal. They're hoping, that's for sure. And all the substitutes who we'll probably see a lot of, we usually do in pre-season games, although Lyon actually didn't make many changes at all yesterday. One of the changes they did make was Clément Grenier coming off very early in the match. Nabil Fekir, who's on the bench, that had to come on. We didn't expect to see him so soon, but Richard, on Grenier, this is the injury. It's a big blow for Lyon, really, isn't it, if he's out for any amount of time, because he's a man who missed a long spell last season. Yeah, he's had no luck with injuries, and he just hurts himself here in his hip flexor, just striking that ball. He caught it awkwardly, and it actually coincided with a change in momentum in the game. It was 0-0 when he came off. He was just starting to get on the ball in that hole. I don't think they were necessarily weaker for it with Fekir replacing him, but it seemed to coincide with an Arsenal onslaught from then on in. There'll be a lot of onus on Nabil Fekir the season ahead as well. He's 22, Martin, but he's the Liga Young Player of the Year, and he's a high hope for, I guess, for them for the coming years, if they can hold on to him, because he's been linked with all sorts of teams, including Arsenal. Yeah, Villarreal, you know, that history of bringing players through there. You know, he plays in that sort of number 10 role. You know, there he is, his pass. He can pick a pass, there's no doubt about that. And he has that quality to come off and link the play outside of his left foot. I mean, that's a delicious pass, isn't it? Takes great technical ability. And he can score goals as well. So, you know, he has that about him, but he's got to, he's under a lot of pressure this year to create for his team. You can see why he's being courted by many clubs. Yeah, and interesting enough, I mean, Lacazette, obviously, with the amount of goals he's scored last season, 31 goals, and no takers. Arguably his price tag, 30-40 million, is excessive, given the lack of range of goals he scored. But this is one lad who I think a lot of people are very interested in at that age. Again, scoring goals, you say. I would be surprised if he has another good season that he won't be at
at this club for much longer.
He signed a long-term contract extension, but I think his dad actually said if he's going to leave for anyone, it would be Arsenal. What about Claudio Beauvau then? Because he's a new signing for Lyon. Very exciting. Guingamp last season. And Richard, you actually went over and watched them last season, didn't you?
Yeah, I saw a game that Guingamp played at the end of the season against Saint-Etienne, and he scored in that game. Had a fantastic season in Ligue 1, scored a few goals in Europe as well. A sharp player. I think it'll just add to the options that Lyon have up front with Fekir, N'Ji, Lacazette and then Beauvau as a surprise package.
When you think they had 27 goals last season from Beauvau at Guingamp, he's now at Lyon, 31 from Alexander Lacazette as well. It's a fair old strike force they've got for the season ahead, isn't it? It is very much raining here at the Emirates. We have to keep on reminding you, as you'll see from our Brawley's pitch side. Won't dampen the enthusiasm too much though. Arsenal were absolutely flying, and this place will slowly start to build up as the day continues. Our first game is on the way for you next.
Un, deux, trois, quatre.
C'est cider, not cider.
And now introducing peach and elderflower.
In our 4-day spectacular, this stunning solid hardwood chest of drawers is now an amazing $349. 4-day spectacular ends this Sunday.
If you've been refused a loan, don't lose your cool. Visit Amigo Loans. We're fast, friendly and fuss-free. We've already approved over 160,000 people, and every 10 minutes we approve someone new. You can borrow up to £5,000 with a guarantor for whatever you need. Spread your repayments over 1 to 5 years with a representative 49.9% APR variable. So don't lose your cool. Visit amigoloans.co.uk today.
Colin saved money at Money Supermarket. And now he feels epic. Colin, you are so Money Supermarket.
Sport, we all talk about it, but I get to live it. I get the VIPs from A to B. Is this the closest you get to sport? No, that's Betway. Live streaming, live odds, bet in play. Because whatever you think you know, right now, anything could happen.
With a free bet worth up to £50. Live sport, bet your way at betway.com.
So many steps to cleansing skin. What a chore. Garnier makes removing makeup easier with micellar cleansing water. In one step, the micelles capture makeup and impurities like a magnet. Removes makeup, cleanses, soothes. Your 3-in-1 solution for sensitive skin. Now available in handbag size. Garnier.
We're ready to go for our first game of the Emirates Cup on this Sunday afternoon. It's Lyon against Villarreal. The Spanish side won against Wolfsburg yesterday. Lyon trying to recover from the 6-0 defeat to Arsenal. Your commentators for this match are Kevin Davis and Adam Somerton.
Thank you, Daryl. Good afternoon, everyone. Liga meets La Liga. Big seasons ahead of both Lyon and Villarreal. Each assured of European football come September, after arguably exceeding expectations last season. Lyon surprised many in France by pushing PSG almost all the way for the title. Villarreal finished in La Liga's top 6 for a second season running, and having secured promotion from the second tier 2 years ago. Certainly these exciting sides like to play attractive football. This ideal preparation for the challenges that lie ahead of both of them. Each more than capable of testing the other's readiness for the new campaign. Lyon at the moment, currently without the spending power of yesteryear. They were, to an extent, forced, really, to turn to youth. But how it's paid off. An academy that's so often been fruitful in the past is producing gems at a greater rate than ever right now. They were a joy to watch last season. No reason why that shouldn't continue, with their squad still very much intact. Villarreal haven't been so successful in that respect. Several key players from last season no longer at El Madrigal. New additions to bed in. Games like this clearly so important for that, and there were very encouraging signs in that respect yesterday for the head coach Marcelino. And as you can see, the weather conditions are far from ideal at Emirates Stadium, which is still filling up nicely, and of course ahead of Arsenal's game at 4:20 this afternoon against Wolfsburg. And Mertesacker will very much be hoping to be involved, such a crucial stage of the season, to get those minutes under the belt. All helps with fitness, and fantastic performance from Arsenal yesterday against Lyon. Surprising in some ways, really, particularly from the French side's point of view. Hubert Fournier will certainly want to see a response from the side that finished second in Liga last season. A little bit later than planned, the players just about to come out of the tunnel. Which is certainly looking more than ready for the new season. It's immaculate, in fact, a fantastic playing surface as ever. Arsenal begin their Premier League campaign here against West Ham on the 9th of August. For now, though, focus on what is the 8th Emirates Cup. What a successful pre-season tournament it has been over the years. This the second and final day. A reminder of the scoring system that applies in this tournament. 3 points for a win, 1 for a draw, as normal. But a point is also awarded for each goal scored. Well, Lyon make 11 changes to the team that began yesterday's defeat to Arsenal. It includes 3 teenagers and a 20-year-old, Darpino, Kalulu, Mbumbuni and Labidi, all youth team graduates. So the experience of 35-year-old captain Steve Malbranc will come in handy. The former Tottenham midfielder is beginning his 19th season as a professional. Villarreal's lineup contains 4 of the players who started against Wolfsburg yesterday, namely Gerard Moreno, Leo Baptistao, Samuel Castillejo and captain Bruno Soriano. Plenty of focus on goalkeeper Alphonse Areola, on loan from PSG, and remains highly rated in France.
Yeah, well, the Villarreal manager Marcelino will be delighted with what he saw yesterday from their team, bearing in mind they're still 4 weeks away from kick-off in La Liga. Interesting to see stick with Leo Baptistao and Gerard Moreno up front, clearly trying to form a partnership between those two. They were fantastic yesterday. Lyon, obviously, with the changes from yesterday's disappointment of the 6-0 defeat from Arsenal. Also looking forward to seeing number 9, Claudio Bovo. Comes highly rated, 27 goals last year, one to look out for today.
Well, Nabil Fekir is among the Lyon substitutes, the current Liga Player of the Year. Another exciting talent on the Villarreal bench. Nawal scored the winner against Wolfsburg yesterday. I have to say as well, number 24, Eric Bailly, in defence, was very impressive indeed for Villarreal yesterday. There is the yellow submarine being handed over to Steve Malbranc. Much expected of Claudio Bovu, signed from Guingamp during the summer. 17 goals, won the Coupe de France with Guingamp in 2014. And it was a thoroughly enjoyable first day at the Emirates Cup. Let's hope for more of the same. 2 excellent games in prospect. Arsenal against Wolfsburg to come later on BT Sport. Lyon and Villarreal for us to enjoy now. 2nd in Liga and 6th in La Liga last season. ambitious fan bases who've each experienced a Champions League semi-final in the last 10 years. It should be, Kevin Davis, another good game.
Yeah, looking forward to the game. Villarreal, as I said before, very impressive yesterday. Still 4 weeks to go for them till kick-off, but Lyon, obviously the Super Cup and the league not too far away. They'll be looking for an improvement on yesterday's performance and a chance for some of these players here today to impress the manager. And can they put pressure on that starting 11 from yesterday?
Lyon really taken apart by Arsenal yesterday. 6 different scorers in a 6-0 victory for the Gunners. Giroud, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Iwobi, Ramsey, Ozil and Cazorla all on target. Here's Bruno Soriano for Villarreal, the captain, who was really impressive in the heart of midfield yesterday.
Yeah, he makes them tick over. He had a great game yesterday for 60-65 minutes, controlled the game. I'd say Villarreal yesterday played at such a tempo, only 2 or 3 weeks into their pre-season, but they really showed Wolfsburg the way yesterday.
Here's Jokic, Slovenian international. He'll be playing at left back today, can play further up the pitch as well. Our referee today from Japan, Ryoji Sato. And the fourth official, a familiar name to Premier League fans in John Moss today. Eddie Smart and Gary Beswick are the assistants. Here's Pina for Villarreal. Dominating possession in the early stages here. Iniguez. Now Jokic again. With a point per goal, Arsenal have a commanding lead at the top of the Emirates Cup table. The Gunners on 9, Villarreal on 5, Wolfsburg on 1 and Lyon on 0 right now. Nice layoff by Kalulu, one of 3 teenagers in this side. A 20-year-old as well for Lyon. Such a productive academy. The first meaningful attack, it was in towards Bovu. Darpino. Real big opportunity, Kevin, for some of these younger players for Lyon today to stake their claim in the side, because Hubert Fournier has shown that he's more than happy to give youth a chance.
Of course, what an opportunity, and again in a fantastic stadium. And as I say, that it was disappointing from them. They were in the game, Lyon, for half an hour yesterday, and then Arsenal really put them to the sword, didn't they? 9 goals in 4 minutes and it was game over. So the only real bonus for them yesterday, a lot of players will have got 90 minutes obviously, but this is a real opportunity for them to shine and give the manager food for thought. You know, it's not too long to the start of the season now, and they want to give that manager something to think about.
And Mbuemba, formerly of Portsmouth, done well to retain possession here. Malbranc looking to get it wide for Bovu. Headed by Mbumbuni. Nice layoff by Gerard Moreno. Again, we see that understanding between he and Leo Baptistao combining again here. Great run by Gerard Moreno, and it had to be well defended by Biševac. Impressive again from those front 2.
Yeah, we were very impressed with them yesterday. The link-up play, the hold-up play, bringing other players into play, and they seem to have got that telepathic understanding already. And it's early on in pre-season for them, but they were fantastic yesterday, and already early on we're seeing that today. Gerard
Moreno already at the club, a youth team graduate at Villarreal, but Leo Baptistao has been brought in on loan from Atletico, with a point to prove perhaps. Castillejo with the corner, and it was a free header for Gerard Moreno. Still could be a chance yet.
Yeah, what a great opportunity for him there. He'll be disappointed he's not scored from there. 7-8 yards out, free header, should have scored.
Castillejo had a good game yesterday. Jokic, pressure being applied here by Villarreal. Leo Baptistao with the ball over. Just about managed to get the job done, Lyon, but as we saw yesterday with Villarreal, when they up the tempo, when they move through the gears, they are such a threat.
Yeah, and I think they only scored 42 goals last year, and I think these new strikers, they're obviously trying to fill that void left by Vietti, but they've started off really well playing together. It's the tempo that they play at. They win the ball back and then they look to counter at pace, and very impressed by them to start this game in the same vein.
As we said yesterday with Wolfsburg, and it's the same that applies today with Lyon, they're much further behind in their pre-season preparations, with Lyon's first competitive game coming up in the Super Cup against PSG in Montreal next weekend. As Villarreal's season starts at Real Betis at the end of August. Bruno Soriano. Kept it well here. Had some joy down that right-hand side. Malbranc getting involved. Espinoza. Back here with Bourgelin. Of course, gets his chance in the starting lineup today for Lyon. Anthony Lopez, very much the number one at the French side. Bourgelin, a player who's come through the academy at Lyon, as so many of these players have done. Here's Bichevats. Plenty of competition as well in the central areas of the Lyon defence. Bichevats and Kone, the partnership at the back today.
Yeah, again, we see the corner coming in there. Poor marking again from Lyon. We saw Giroud score a similar goal from that distance yesterday. Poor marking again, free header. You need better from your defenders. Go and attack the ball. Try and clear the ball. That's just unacceptable.
Darpino. Played in field by Mbumbuni. It wasn't the ideal pass, really, and Samu Castillejo almost got to it. Darpino. Kone. There's been some talk that Kone may well leave Lyon during the summer, but still very much at the club. Bichevats now. Saw Ntiti and Lindsay Rose as the central defensive partnership yesterday for Lyon. Up towards Bovu, headed by Jokic. Seized upon here by Malbranc. And Mbumbuni. And now Jokic for Villarreal. It's an intelligent ball up towards Gerard Moreno, who had just strayed offside.
Yeah, that's what you want to see from your strikers early on in the game, trying to stretch that Lyon back four. You see his movement here. I think Kone just steps up, just playing him offside, but that's what you want to see from your strikers, playing on that front line, trying to stretch them and create space for those intelligent midfielders to take those gaps.
He scored 7 La Liga goals last season, Gerard Moreno. Very much in the mould of a poacher. All of his La Liga goals came from inside the area, including an equaliser and a 1-1 draw at the Bernabeu against Real Madrid back in March. Also scored 4 times in the Europa League, but he is going to feel that weight of responsibility for goals this season a little bit more with the departure of Vieto to Atletico for €20 million. Bruno Soriano. Not the greatest of passes, picked up by Bovu, and now Malbranc. Kone. Mvuemba. Up towards Bovu, who'd made a clever run there through the middle. Pina. And now Rukavina, who's a Serbian international. He was the first signing of last summer for Villarreal, having been relegated with Valladolid. Iniguez, Spanish under-21 international. He's the much more experienced Bruno Soriano. Castillejo, Pina. And Villarreal looking to move it quickly and with purpose. Precise passing as well from the Spanish side. Rukavina, just over the head of Leo Baptistão. Labidi does well to win the throw-in. Arsene Wenger, understandably, very pleased indeed with the performance yesterday. That 6-0 victory over Lyon. Of course, it was Olivier Giroud who opened the scoring. Oh, Koscielny as well. Just sat away to his right, had a good game at the back too, really promising from Arsenal. Debuchy and the trio there as well. In action at 4:20 this afternoon, live on BT Sport against Wolfsburg. Bruno Soriano looking to seek out Gerard Moreno inside the area. Samu Castillejo, as ever, making a nuisance of himself as well.
Yeah, I think that's something we see a lot with the Spanish teams, don't they? I think Barcelona started it, and can they win the ball back quickly? You see the interconnecting play, the passing, their intelligent passing. This time, obviously, didn't quite come off, but as soon as they lose the ball, there's a response. Can we win it up the pitch? Can we win it as quickly as they can? And I think that's something the Spanish do. They give themselves 4 or 5 seconds. Can they win it? If not, they drop back and get into shape. They were superb at it yesterday, and considering they've only been back in training 2 or 3 weeks, it was fantastic to watch.
Well, Marcelino, who we just saw there, declared himself very satisfied with yesterday's win over Wolfsburg. Particularly pleased, he said, with his side's defensive effort, which you can understand, really, only conceding the one in pre-season against a Wolfsburg side that, at times, really terrified the Bundesliga last season and may well do the same in the Champions League this season.
Yeah, I think they surprised, didn't they, with their energy and their fitness levels. They obviously had a good pre-season, come back in good shape.
That's a lovely ball. That's gone right through the heart of the defence, and only just wide as well. What a good move by Lyon. Kalulu just off target, but the way that they carved their way through that Villarreal defence was impressive.
Yeah, brilliant little ball from Malbranck there, slides him in. Kalulu does the rest, and what a save from Areola. He just tips it round. We thought that was a certain goal, but that was a fantastic save from him. Tips it round the post for a corner. Best attack from Lyon so far.
He's a player with an emerging reputation, Areola. I know that David James is a really big fan of his. This season, he can really prove himself in La Liga. Dangerous ball sent in there. Breaks for Malbranck. Mbuemba. Lyon growing in confidence here. Really busy inside that area. Areola with a really important foot to that. Best period of the game so far for Lyon. Bishabats. Mbuemba. Bishabats.
I think we've already seen 2 good attacks from Lyon. We stayed behind and watched the game yesterday. They really didn't pose much of a threat going forward with Lacazette and G. They were pretty quiet all afternoon, and it's been a good start from Lyon.
And we saw 1 or 2 really strong challenges in yesterday's game involving Villarreal. That's perhaps in that category as well. And the player on the wrong end of that challenge from Darpino was Leo Baptistao, and I have to say, Kevin, that did look a little high.
Yeah, I mean, going on what the referee was doing yesterday, any normal circumstances, that would certainly be a yellow card. It was a little bit naughty there, and I think the referee's shown a little bit of leniency, maybe just because it's a friendly.
Darpino, one of the teenagers in the Lyon side, will be so keen to prove himself, the French under-19 international. They have all made, the younger players in this Lyon side, a lot of appearances for the reserves. All of them into double figures.
Well, as I said before, it's a fantastic opportunity for them, and can they show the manager what they're capable of doing on this big occasion, this big stadium? Can the manager really rely on them? They've got a lot of games to play this year in the Champions League again, and the Cup and the League, and they try and close that gap with PSG.
Yeah, that is a point that some of the more experienced players at Lyon have been keen to make, I guess, as they try and play down expectations, the fact that they are going to have more games this season. They were knocked out of the Europa League in the playoff stage last season. At the time, they were heavily criticised for it, but I guess in a way, it certainly helped them in terms of their league form and pushing PSG for most of the way.
Of course, and I think as senior players, you always look to the next crop of players coming through from the academy, and it's always refreshing and encouraging to see those players being produced and coming through, and you obviously look after them and try and nurture them and get them into the first team. A lot of games to be played, and another big season for Lyon.
His experience will be so vital in that respect. 19th season as a professional, 645 matches for Steve Malbranck. That as many as you?
He's still a little bit behind me. I'm over 800, so he's got a bit of catching up to, but I've played against him over the years, and again, fantastic pro, good player, and he had some good years playing in England in the Premier League. A fantastic player, and it looks like he's still enjoying his football, which is the main thing.
Almost a quarter of an hour gone. The Emirates, still nothing to separate Lyon and Villarreal. But we've seen chances at either end. Areola called into action once. Only Bissot here, the effort from Bobu, and it was moving that in the air. Had to be watched all the way by Areola. 4 inside the penalty area here for Lyon. Came down for Malbranc. It's just a little bit awkward for him.
Yeah, he's done well to get his hold legs up there, and you see the free kick from Bovu. He's got that technique where he's moving, isn't it? It's a strange technique. Certain players are allowed to do this, where they strike the ball and it's moving, but in the end, a comfortable save for Aliola there, and then we see the rebound here, just failing to clear that first ball. Fell to Malbranc and didn't quite get the contact he liked, but much better from Lyon, a lot better than what we saw yesterday.
Just in terms of stressing how many goals that Bovu scored last season at Guingamp, only Lacazette, Gignac, Ibrahimovic and Cavani scored more in Liga last season, so he is yet another big goal threat that they've acquired from Guingamp. Claudio Bovu. Didn't quite break for Gerard Moreno. Still battling to try and wing back possession. That was certainly a feature of his game, and indeed that of Leo Baptistão, that we commented upon yesterday, the hard work that they do when they haven't got the ball, those two. Bovu. And now Pina with Castillejo beyond him. Oh, what a lovely back heel. Castillejo with Leo Baptistão to his right. Gerard Moreno in support here. It's in towards Castillejo! Fabulous stop by Gorgelin, but what a wonderful Villarreal break. And now suddenly they look stretched at the back. End-to-end stuff here at the Emirates as Kalulu gets it wide.
Yeah, this is what the crowd have come to see, attacking end-to-end stuff now. Lyon on the attack, and then, as we saw yesterday, Villarreal breaking that pace, and brilliant play from Leo Baptistão again, setting that play up.
Benzia getting involved as well for Lyon. Now it's Bovu. Well, the goalkeepers are coming out on top at the moment at the Emirates, but it's a really good watch, this, between Lyon and Villarreal. Two highly experimental sides, as you might expect at this stage of pre-season.
Yeah, we see it again. This is him breaking quickly, and look at this ball fed into Baptistão, a little round the corner, and then they break 3 against 2. They're on here, and great little ball. And you think he's going to play it across the box, great little pullback, and you think goal, but what a save again from Gorgelin.
Espinosa. Nice turn. Gerard Moreno has support here as well. Weighted the pass perfectly, and it's cleared by Kone. Another really good move put together by Villarreal. Javier Espinosa it was with the ball over.
Yeah, the crowd really appreciating that attack again. Really intelligent play from these two strikers. They're fantastic to watch, and already having seen them yesterday and today, what a fantastic partnership they're forming.
Iniguez. Now Bruno Soriano for Villarreal. Gerard Moreno. Pina finds Rukavina.
Yeah, here we see the opportunity again from Villarreal, and it's Gerard Moreno. It's a great little turn, pivot, and he sees the run of Espinosa, and you think he's just going to try and dink it over the goalkeeper, and nobody was there to get on the end of it, but great run from Espinosa, and keeper putting pressure on, and unfortunately not to get a goal there. Great play again.
These sides in very different stages of pre-season. Lyon's first competitive match less than a week away. Villarreal in La Liga action on the 23rd of August. Pre-season trips for the Spanish side to England, nothing new. They were also here last summer. They won 2-0 at Middlesbrough and 3-0 at Swansea. Summer of 2013 saw them beat Brighton 3-1. Lyon, by the way, took part in the 2010 Emirates Cup. They finished as runners-up behind Arsenal. Celtic and Milan were also involved in that edition of the tournament. Benzia finds Malbranc. Labidi. Malbranc sat up nicely for him there. I thought he might hit that one. Malbranc decided against it and finds Labidi. A little fortunate to come away from that from Castillejo, and the cross Took a deflection, and it's fallen from Malbranche! Off the bar. Areola was getting nowhere near that, and what an effort from the veteran.
Yeah, we've been praising Areola, but I think on this one he can come and catch this ball and take the ball, take the pressure off his defence, opts to punch, and Malbranche inches away from taking the lead there, and great strike from the veteran striker there, and lucky not to score.
It really did sit up so nicely, didn't it, for Steve Malbranche? Couldn't have been better, really. Just a little while before that, he had another one slightly further out that sat up in a similar sort of way. In his second spell with Lyon, Steve Malbranche was also there between 94 and 2001. I was interested to read the other day that he said that he won't be going into coaching once he finishes playing, says he just doesn't think it's for him. But still clearly has a lot to offer in the Lyon first team. Leo Baptistao and Gerard Moreno and Espinosa all waiting patiently inside the area. Well defended by Labidi, who's looked calm and assured. Well, just a reminder for you, stay with us for more action from the Emirates Cup. Petr Cech will be starting for Arsenal against Wolfsburg today from 4 o'clock on BT Sport 1. And we also have from the Women's Super League today from Staines FC, Chelsea against Manchester City, that tonight from 6:30 on BT Sport 1. And don't forget as well the season curtain raiser at Wembley Stadium next Sunday from 2:30. The FA Cup winners against the Premier League title holders from 2:30 on BT Sport 2. Labidi. This is Kone, Burkina Faso international. He was in the Lyon side that won the Coupe de France back in 2012. Pina, cheaply given away. Leo Baptistao, Espinosa with Gerard Moreno beyond him. Angles tight here, but there are three arriving inside the area for Villarreal. Well defended by Kone, who just held his ground and got in the right position.
Again, it's the speed that the counter and the attack, and good play again. You see Espinosa with the ball into Gerard Moreno, and they look at the getting bodies in the box as well. The fitness levels are so high. The three attacking that ball, trying to score goals, and midfield backing up. They play at such a tempo.
Samu Castillejo across to take the corner, signed the 20-year-old from Malaga this summer. Header from Kone. Jokic keeps it going for Villarreal. They're appealing for a handball right on the edge of the area. Nothing doing from the referee. And the header forward was by Iniguez.
Yeah, look at this in slow motion now. It's a hard one. I'm not too sure it was a clear handball. I think it was outside the box anyway if the referee was going to give it, but I think he just misjudged the ball, and you see it maybe clip off the thigh onto the arm. I'm not sure that was a penalty for me.
Bovu finding himself in unusual territory, defending on the edge of his own area. Here's another look at it. What's the referee's view blocked here? Really tough one for the referee from Japan, Ryoji Sato. Kone. Malbranche. Labidi. Up towards Kalulu. Forced that fabulous save earlier on from Areola. We've also seen Malbranche hit the woodworking at the other end. Great chance as well from that delivery into the area. And it was Gerard Moreno with the header. Here's Darpino for Lyon. Not quite enough on that ball for Kone. He won't thank him for that. Coming up for you on the 8th of August from 10 o'clock. Don't forget, Fletch and Sav is back underway on BT Sport 1. And we also have on the opening weekend of the Barclays Premier League season, what a game that should be, from Old Trafford, Manchester United against Tottenham. from midday on the 8th of August. Free kick in a really good position here for Lyon.
Yeah, dangerous position. I said yesterday, I don't think teams will have worked too hard on set pieces yet. They do a lot of the fitness work. Start next week or two, tactical work, and they'll bring the set pieces in probably towards the last week of the season before the competitive game starts. So I won't expect to see too much here. They don't want to give too much away, but it's still a dangerous position.
Navidi stood to the right, and it's Arnold Mbuemba who may well suit his right foot here. Didn't get anything like the distance that he would have wanted. They had so many committed forward there. Lyon, they clearly sensed a good opportunity. Espinosa, typical of Villarreal, looking to play their way out from the back.
Yeah, it's poor delivery. I mean, there's no excuse for that kind of delivery. I said before, they will not have worked on the set pieces, there's no doubt about that, but that was a poor delivery. You get the men up to try and score, and that was just poor.
Espinosa was only used as a substitute yesterday. Espinosa, former Spanish youth international, who signed from Barcelona in July of 2014, where he'd spent 9 years. The time ahead for Leo Baptistao, looking to prove himself on loan from Atletico. It is written into the deal, by the way, for Villarreal that they can make that move permanent if it turns out to be a success, so big incentive for him.
Yeah, and there's a lot made about the loan system, isn't it? But it gives him an opportunity to go out and play regular football. And we've already seen we've been a very good side, and 2 top 6 finishes in the last 2 years. It's going to be hard for him to improve on that with the quality above them, but it's a real opportunity for him to come in and play and score goals and create goals, and I've been very impressed by him and Gerard Moreno, what I've seen so far.
A mixed week, by the way, it's been for Hubert Fournier, who we saw there, rewarded for last season's great performance with a contract extension until 2017 on Wednesday, but then saw his side hammered 6-0 by Arsenal on the Saturday.
Yeah, and we were talking about that before the game, and it's never a good time to lose 6-0 in any stage of the year, but I'm sure he'll be pleased it's come now, a couple of weeks before the season starts, and sometimes you think you're going along nicely in pre-season, winning games and looking good, and then suddenly, bang, you get beaten like that, and a few home truths will have been said, there's no doubt about that, and the next week, 2 weeks, they can go away and certainly practice on the shape and defending set pieces, because they were really poor at that yesterday. They didn't show any kind of desire to get into shape and stop Arsenal from scoring.
I have to say I enjoyed reading the transcript of the post-match interview with Hubert Fournier, where he described that defeat by 6-0 against Arsenal as a bit of a clip around the ear. Wide here for Rukavina, has Samu Castillejo beyond him. Should also add that Hubert Fournier said that it doesn't mean there's any emergency at Lyon. They need to get everybody on task, know their responsibilities. Talked about them losing as a team, not as individuals, and you have to say he's done a wonderful job so far at Lyon. Hubert Fournier has really moved them on.
Yeah, and you know, we'll be embarrassed and disappointed about the result, of course. The first half an hour of the game, they were well in the game. I think the injury sort of unsettled them a little bit, and then Arsenal, 4 goals in 9 minutes, they just blew them away, and it was game over from there on in. So they'll be disappointed, but sometimes it gives you that wake-up call he's on about.
It's really exciting times at the club with the new stadium close to completion, the Stade des Luminaires. Work began back in October of 2012. It will be a 58,000 capacity, will be used at UEFA Euro 2016. Game changer financially as well for Lyon. Jean-Michel Aulas, the president, saying that it will generate between 40 and 50 million euro of revenue in its first year, and a figure that should be doubled within 5 years. Espinosa. Almost half an hour gone at the Emirates. Nothing to separate Lyon and Villarreal. The layoff by Castillejo. Darpino is dispossessed. Rukavina in towards Espinosa. Strong challenge on him from behind, and it will be a penalty kick to Villarreal. Espinosa waiting for it inside the area, and it was a strong challenge from behind him, and the referee had no doubt at all, the Japanese official pointed to the spot that the challenge by Mbumbuni.
Yeah, it's really clumsy. It's a clear penalty, and Mbumbuni there just trying to attack the ball, and Espinosa gets his body in the way and clatters into the back of him, and referee, no doubt, clear penalty.
And the responsibility from the spot will fall to Bruno Soriano. Villarreal already with one win under their belts at the 2015 Emirates Cup. Bruno Soriano up against Gaugelin. Into the corner, and Villarreal lead. The captain leading by example. Just that pause before he took it, looking to fool the goalkeeper, Gaugelin, who guessed the right way but couldn't get to it.
Yeah, very calmly done. A very good player, and see that little stutter there, and just throws the goalkeeper. He can't, he goes right, and then it's too late for him. Back of the net, 1-0. Great penalty, very calmly done.
Well, they really did miss Bruno Soriano for much of the second half of last season. He was injured between February and May, and it coincided with a real dip in form for Villarreal. I have to say that he wasn't the only injury that they suffered at the time. They had quite a few, but you just get the feeling when he's not in the team, they just don't function as well.
Yeah, I don't think there's any, no coincidence why they start to struggle. Sometimes there's key players like that, and he's very assertive, goes about his work very quietly, but he's got that calmness about him. He controls the midfield, controls the tempo of the game. He's always looking to get on the ball and start the plays, and he's been a fantastic. He put in a fantastic performance yesterday, and he's out here again today.
Yidigueth. Rukavina. Saw the run here from Leo Baptiste. Across comes Kone. So he might have been caught here, Leo Baptiste. The challenge came in from Kone.
Yeah, you see he's only literally 4 or 5 yards away. There's not enough there for me to go down like that. It's disappointing to see. You see the linesman's only 4 or 5 yards away. There's not too much going on there. I think he's trying to buy the foul there. Always disappointed to see that kind of reaction from a player, rubbing his chest a little bit now and his head before.
I'm hoping he might make his mind up eventually. Kone turns away from Leo Baptiste. Kalulu, well won back by Pina. Really is full of energy and endeavour in that midfield. Pina played forward here by Gerard Moreno. Yidigueth with the header in turn for Villarreal. Side flag up against Kalulu. Pantic finds Bruno Soriano. Pantic, who is former Serbian under-21 international. Up towards Leo Baptiste, just ushered off it by Kone, who nearly turned right into trouble there in the shape of Gerard Moreno. They really do hunt together in a pair, don't they, those two?
Yeah, I've just been watching the movement of these two. They're always on the move, this pairing, and playing on the shoulder, trying to make it difficult for defenders, and Kone, poor defending, just about got away with that. That could have gone anywhere, but the movement of them, they're fantastic, and I'm trying to compare them to the movement of the 3 of the Lyon players. They're quite static, and you can clearly see they've done a lot of work already on the training ground.
That was something that a couple of the Villarreal players, when interviewed after yesterday's game, that victory over Wolfsburg, they said that they felt that result, that performance was all down to the hard work that they've been doing on the training ground. In fact, Marcelino has said that he's noticed that the new players coming into the club have clearly been feeling the extra responsibility that they have in training under him. He does really work them hard.
Yeah, and I mean, they've been back, what, 3 weeks? Generally, it's 2-3 weeks of fitness work, getting the levels up, which they clearly have done. They look a very fit side. I think if you've got that as a base, it gives yourself a chance, and then you add the quality in with that. But I've just been mightily impressed. I'm watching them now. They're always on the move, these two up front, and they're causing problems for this back four, and it's just creating the space for the midfield players to exploit. And you can see them always trying to get the eye contact with Bruno Soriano, and they're always on the move. Getting in behind it's great to watch, really.
Darpino a little slow to react there, but certainly Leo Baptiste wasn't. You wouldn't know it was pre-season at times with these two, particularly Villarreal, who are really at it. Samu Castillejo, supported by Pina and Bruno Soriano. Goes wide here instead to Rukavina. Castillejo looking to get to that for Villarreal, but it's well defended by Labidi, who then in turn gives it away. Castillejo finds Bruno Soriano. It's all good football by Villarreal. Crossing by Rukavina. Superbly cut out by Kone. It's not the first time he's done something similar.
Yeah, they keep linking up in those little triangles, don't they? They've got the pass in the movement, and they're just finding those gaps. And once again, Kone on full stretch, trying to defend those crosses.
It's both these sides with European football to look forward to this season. Lyon will discover their Champions League opponents when the draw's made on the 27th of August. The day after, Villarreal will learn who they're to face in the Europa League group stage. And on the evidence we've seen at the Emirates Cup, there aren't too many who fancy coming up against Villarreal. They have a good pedigree in European competition. Almost 10 years ago now since that semi-final in the Champions League against Arsenal that so many will recall. Rukavina looks the favourite to take this. In fact, he's left it for Castillejo. Decent delivery. Gorgelin with the punch clear. Jokic. Easy take in the end for Mathieu Gorgelin. He looks to get Lyon going quickly here. It's a lovely turn by Benzia. Bobu content to leave it. And now it's Malbranc. But they hit back here before half-time, Lyon. And Mbumbuni, who gave away the penalty. That deep cross towards the back post. And it falls for Mbuemba. Not far away at all. And it took a nick on the way through. And it will be a corner to Lyon.
Yeah, much better. I mean, it's just a long diagonal ball into the box. And you see the header down there. He's kicks it up. It's a great strike. Just deflected wide and just took it off target. That might have caused Areola a few problems there. Good strike.
He really is going to have a job on his hands, getting a place, a regular place in that Lyon midfield this season. Mbuemba, real competition for places as he sends in the resulting corner. Rattled the woodwork, Kone. Really fortunate Villarreal, the second time that Lyon have hit that crossbar in this first half.
Oh, fantastic delivery again, and second time they hit the woodwork. Great header from Kone, and not much he can do about that. That's just a little bit of bad luck, but great delivery, and he really attacked it, and unlucky not to score on that occasion.
Villarreal with the lead, but Lyon so easily could be on terms. Espinosa, Bruno Soriano. Fortune, I think it's fair to say, hasn't smiled so far at the Emirates Cup on Lyon. Beaten 6-0 yesterday. So unlucky not to score in this one as well. Worth remembering that great save as well that Areola produced from Kalulu.
Yeah, but I think the manager will be pleased with what he's seen in terms of the attacking centres. Yes, they didn't offer much at all, so obviously a lot of changes here. A really strong team he put out yesterday, and we see that corner again now, and it's whipped in with pace, and see Kone there, he attacks it, and he's so unlucky not to score there. Just loses his marker and just gains that yard, and you see, very unlucky.
It's another good turn by Benzia. Low centre of gravity that Benzia has. He's so tricky to mark. Spin off defenders, as we've seen him do a fair few times in the first half, and has lots of pace as well. Yassine Benzia. Darpino. Mbumbuni. Bishavat. Kone. Still the rain coming down at the Emirates. It's made for a fairly slick playing surface. Very different conditions to what we saw yesterday. Labidi.
Again there, we see Labidi on the ball and Bishabat's switch of play. Just, to me, there's not enough movement from those front three. They're not working hard enough to try and get on the ball and create those gaps. They'll make the runs for one of the mid. Obviously the strikers Villarreal possess.
Pina stretching for that and couldn't quite get to it. This could be promising here for Lyon. It's into the side netting. The effort from Bovu. It was a good break into the area though from Lyon. That's more like it, and they had some purpose about their passing.
Exactly what I was just saying. You see him there, the movement. He's just playing on that back shoulder. Great timing of the run, breaks in, and unfortunately the finish didn't match up to the run, but much better from them. You see them getting on behind, making those defenders run towards their home goal. That's what they really hate doing, and that's much better from Lyon.
Benzia, who certainly is growing more into the game, seeing a lot more of him, and Mvuemba. Malbranc, it's a really positive end to the first half here by the Ligue 1 side. Dalpino. Labidi gets involved, and Mvuemba. Pina battling to win it back for Villarreal and finds Leo Baptiste out. Espinosa, just a little too heavy the pass, but the idea was good.
Yeah, again, wonderful movement from Baptiste there. He just played on the shoulder and Espinosa spotted it, but the pass just wasn't quite enough. Too much pace on the pass, but another great run from him. Better pass and he's in on goal there.
Espinosa immediately applying the pressure on Malbranc and winning it back for Villarreal, and it's going to fall here, is it, for Gerard Moreno? Espinosa in support, the goalkeeper a long way off his line. Now he must try and get back. Pina sends it into the area, but it's not close enough to Samu Castillejo, and Gorgelin with a let-off. Still more defending to do here, though. Rukavina for Villarreal, and the effort from Leo Baptiste out. Came to him really nicely on the edge of the area, but sliced wide.
Yeah, Lyon just, failing to clear their lines and see off the danger, and this one here, put your foot through that, clear the ball. Kone getting caught again, and a little bit of contact here, there may be a penalty, but just hesitating with play. Clear your lines, get out and defend properly, and this one again, you see Baptiste just pulling to the edge of the box and not quite managing to get that volley on target, but good little pull-off from him there.
Rukavina with the header forward. Kone defending here for Lyon. Flag has stayed down here. It's a tight angle for Gerard Moreno. As ever, he has Leo Baptiste out in the middle. Castillejo. Well defended once more by Kone, who's had a good first half. Just two have stayed back for Villarreal. Alexander Pantic in the area, one of the centre halves. Surprised they played it short, really, when so many had come forward. Deals for a handball, the cross from Rukavina. Kalulu need to use his pace, and a yellow card to be produced here.
Yeah, lovely piece of skill. He just rolls him there. You can see he clearly pulls him back and breaks up the attack and takes a yellow card for the team there. Good little bit of movement from Kalulu there.
Pablo Iniguez, the man who has seen yellow, Spanish at the 21 international. Spent last season on loan at Girona in the second tier in Spain. Dalpino. And Bumbuni. There's seconds remaining at the end of the first half at the Emirates, and it's Kone for Lyon. Who might count themselves a little unlucky. It would seem to be going in at the break of goal down. Still maybe time for one last attack as Bishabat sends it long. Bruno Soriano takes it off the toe of Pina. And Rukavina, the Serbian international, lofts forward. Challenge on Pina by Kalulu. And the referee seems happy to let go with just a quick word. Just into the 60 seconds to be added on then at the end of the first half. Kevin, it's been a good watch.
yeah, both sides have created good chances and both goalkeepers have made good saves. Obviously, Lyon hitting the crossbar a couple of times will feel unlucky going in a goal behind, but it's been a good first half.
Pantic. Bruno Soriano. Bojan Jokic. Gerard Moreno has got there for Villarreal. Looking to take on Bishavat. Brilliantly done. Gerard Moreno, can he find the finish? The angle's really tight. Courgelan got his hand to it. And Espinosa really should have done better. Brilliant play again by Gerard Moreno. What a good couple of days he's had.
He's just full of energy. He's willing. You get a lot of strikers wanting to come to feet and show and take the easy option, but he's always wanting to run down that channel and again create another chance. And Espinosa not quite been able to finish it off. Look at him, he's causing problems running that channel. Unselfish runs, and then here drops the shoulder, goes inside, and just think he's about to get his shot off there. Takes one too many, but deflection from the goalkeeper, and Espinosa didn't really connect and should have done better.
Well, Villarreal could so easily have been going in at half-time. 2-0 up as it is. It's a penalty from the captain, Bruno Soriano, that means at the break at the Emirates, it's Lyon 0, Villarreal 1.
The UEFA Champions League, club football's ultimate prize. And for the first time in UK television history, you can now see every single match live in one place. BT Sport, the new home of the UEFA Champions League.
A lot of people laughed when they found out what I was up to. It's certainly a female-dominated field, but I felt that the pluses outweighed the minuses.
How's the cheerleading going, son? Fine. What happened? Trip over your pom-poms?
The outfit can chafe a bit. Some people do call me names, but I get to work in a great team. And the fact is I'll get a front row seat at every Tornadoes home game. Who's laughing now?
When my van's off the road, I'm not working. So what am I gonna do? His van's off the road, he's not working. So it's time we got something new. Vanarama, 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 they're the ones to call.
Change your van, transform your business with amazing deals like this new Citroen Nemo from just £99 a month.
They're the ones who need to go.
After thinking I was paying too much for my glasses, I just went direct to Glasses Direct.
Me too. And us.
Ooh, fireman. Anyway, I chose from hundreds of frames. And they took their free home trial too. 4 pairs to try out at home for free.
We did that.
Order your new glasses today.
They're great.
And get an extra pair of prescription sunglasses free for a limited period. From glassesdirect.co.uk.
House prices. Other people's wages.
Coffee.
These days, I feel like everything's getting bigger, except my savings.
But you can do something different with Wellesley.
Wellesley are not a bank.
Start today and get 4%.
Invest for longer and get even more.
So visit Wellesley now and find out how to treat your money just like their own.
Find out more at wellesley.co.uk.
My dream is to build a monument to one of Britain's favourite sons, me. So I've decided it's time to build Piers' Pier. Something like this is an expensive undertaking, but one big win on Lotto and Piers' Pier is open for business.
Charge!
What will people say? I think they'll say thank you. Thank you, Piers.
Anyone can win with Lotto. Please, don't let it be him.
Whether the day is bright or gray,
We understand you have a car
give me
because you need a car.
shoulder to cry on.
When you're with AXA, if your car gets damaged, we'll give you a courtesy car for the whole time yours is being repaired, as standard.
Give me your heart to rely on.
Because you've got enough to think about.
Always and ever. Now and forever. Little things mean a lot.
Watchshop.com. There's nowhere else quite like it. Hundreds of designer brands, brilliant savings, and next day delivery or click and collect. For the perfect watch, it's Watchshop.com. Every time.
Win online on the horses. Collect your cash on the high street.
Win-win.
Win online on the footy. Collect your cash on the high street.
Win-win.
Win online on the casino. You get the point. Whatever you're betting on, with the new Coral Connect card, you can collect online winnings at any Coral shop.
Now that's win-win.
Pick up your Connect card today.
But please bet responsibly.
Time is the overseer of all things. It sees men build their kingdoms. It sees them become legendary. Will you build an empire that lasts forever? Game of War. Play for free now from the App Store.
Welcome back to the Emirates Cup. Villarreal are leading for the second day in a row, and they're looking good as well. Let me tell you what's to come this Thursday. Southampton are trying to qualify for the Europa League group stages. They take on Vitesse. That's 7:45 p.m. on BT Sport 1. And of course, BT Sport is the new home of the UEFA Champions League and the UEFA Europa League, and the only place you can see every single match exclusively live, all in one place. We can't wait for that. We're also looking forward to Arsenal taking on Wolfsburg this afternoon. In our second match, there's Dieter Hecking arriving. He has just been voted #1 manager in the Bundesliga for last season. That's ahead of Pep Guardiola. Andre Schürrle, expect to see him today. Max Kruse, their new signing as well, and a whole host of other stars, maybe Kevin De Bruyne too. David James, Martin Keown are with us to look back on the first half of our game. Villarreal impressing again, and they went ahead through the penalty earlier on, Martin.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I thought it was poor defending, actually. It's a ball he's never going to win. He sort of kicks up into the air, the fullback's coming across, and he's all over the back of the forward player. Without doubt, it's a penalty.
Not a good decision by the defender, David.
No, I think if he hadn't have, if they hadn't had the forward in there, then I think he probably would have hit it on his knee. It was that bad an attempt. Lovely penalty, makes the goalkeeper look a little bit silly.
Yeah, Bruno's
nice,
he's the experienced man in the team. It was an experienced finish as well. But they actually had lots of other chances as well, Villarreal. It's interesting to see the development of Gerard Moreno. He'll have to take on a leadership role up front this season, with Vieto off to Atletico Madrid for almost €20 million. And he's got a new partnership forming with Leo Baptistao, who's arrived from Atletico on loan.
Well, he was their biggest threat in the game. You know, some good defending at times. They look a bit all over the show. It's lots of youngsters playing, and he really should be putting that in the back of the net. Good movement from him. He's powerful, clearly. But, you know, once he's got that kind of space, just ringing him here, he should be burying that. Good save from the keeper.
Yeah, it should be 1-0 there, yeah.
Completely free header, but they created a lot more than that.
Yeah, I mean, he has been instrumental in creating these opportunities.
Lovely ball back by Moreno there.
Yeah, exactly, and that's a very good save there. I mean, as you say, he's got to step up to the mark now.
Nice little pass through again, Moreno too.
Yeah, Baptista though has got to start chipping in on this, and they are a partnership, and rarely you see two strikers playing together. Often in the Premier League, it's one playing up the top and one off, and this is a partnership that they want to build on. And to be honest, that they have been the stronger team. They're playing against, though, there's 5 players in this Lyon team below the age of 20, so not a lot of experience there.
And then Lyon, of course, they created chances too. Malbronk has been well involved. He puts a lovely pass through to Kalulu there. Areola with the save. You like the goalkeeper, David?
I do like this lad, and that is a wonderful save. He stood up and waited for the shot to come down. I think the defending by Villarreal has been decent as well, though, and it was put under pressure there to force him into one side. Perhaps he should have caught that area. Yeah.
Well, Malbronk keeps it live, and Malbronk nearly punishes him. You know, he hits the bar there. He's still got it, the old fella. I think he came here on trial and he's actually as good as everything around him, still at his age.
Emba deflected shot just wide, and then towards the end, another one off the crossbar. Kone.
I think Kone should do better here. I do. It's good movement, but it's a clean header, and rather than glancing at a forward header, and that's possibly in the goal. And again,
Beauvais there.
Beauvais.
It's good defending though, forcing him wide. Forced him under pressure to put the shot inside.
You can see the athleticism though that these Lyon players have. They're all technically good. It's just some of their decision making, but they are good athletes. Kone as well at the back. At times he's quite decent, but then he makes elementary mistakes.
Plenty of chances in that first half. Yeah. It's a good watch, isn't it? Villarreal are leading, and they're hoping to maybe win the Emirates Cup. Wolfsburg are looking to recover from their defeat to the Spaniards yesterday. We'll see them later in action against Arsenal. But the second 45 and our first match is on the way next.
When my van's off the road, I'm not working. So what am I gonna do? His van's off the road, he's not working. So it's time we got something new. Vanarama, 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 they're the ones to call.
Change your van, transform your business with amazing deals like this new Citroen Nemo from just £99 a month.
They're the ones you need to call.
How much do I like ham? I don't have time to eat pasta.
Sainsbury's make the holidays a little easier with homemadebyou.co.uk. It's full of easy, inspirational meals, like vegetable quesadillas.
Tigers don't eat quesadillas.
Tigers do eat quesadillas.
Watchshop.com. There's nowhere else quite like it. Hundreds of designer brands, brilliant savings, and next day delivery or click and collect. For the perfect watch, it's Watchshop.com. Every time.
He's half man, half spreadsheet.
Been wondering what I should get Mum for her birthday.
He'll analyse every bet to the last detail. Team stats, head-to-head records, and what's going on in the dressing room.
Maybe we could go to an art exhibition. We could go out for lunch beforehand. What do you think?
Uh-oh.
Salsa lessons. That's a great idea.
Genius.
Back in the good old days, if you needed a loan, the bank manager would often ask someone who knew you to guarantee it. Simple. Then things changed, and all those computer credit scores took over. That's why we've gone back to a time when loans were simpler. At Amiga Loans, you don't need a credit score. Just someone who trusts you to guarantee your loan repayments. Borrow up to £5,000 over 1 to 5 years. Come to amigaloans.co.uk.
The more you move, the more you sweat. Sure Motion Sense technology keeps you fresh when you move. It has unique microcapsules that contain fragrance. Friction breaks the capsules, releasing freshness that lasts all day. Whether you're meeting a deadline, grabbing a bite, or heading out for the night. Motion Sense, protection to keep you moving. Sure, it won't let you down.
I made the link and saved £300 a year on my gas bill.
I made the link and didn't have to pay anything for breakdown cover.
We made the link and got a new Worcester Bosch boiler from just £17 a month.
With a 10-year warranty for peace of mind.
All across Britain, thousands of people are making the link and getting a new boiler installed by HelpLink. So go on to help-link.co.uk or call free on 0800 566 8787. HelpLink, the boiler people.
Colin saved money at Money Supermarket, and now he feels epic. Colin, you are so Money Supermarket.
for more ways to meet new people. Download the Match.com app and join free today.
Welcome back to the Emirates. Lyon have just emerged, so we're almost set to go for the second half. Let me tell you though, tonight, midnight over on BT Sport 2, it's the CONCACAF Gold Cup final, Jamaica against Mexico. Jamaica, the first Caribbean team ever to reach that final, having knocked out USA in the semi-final. Right back over to Kevin Davis and Adam Somerton for the second half.
Thank you, Daryl. One change being made at the start of the second half, and it's that man, Trigueros, who's coming on for the captain, Bruno Soriano, who scored the goal which currently separates the sides at the start of the second half. Bruno Soriano with that penalty. And we are also actually belatedly going to see a change here from Lyon. And it's Mufi who's going to be coming on here. I think they're just waiting for permission to make this change before the start of the second half. Perhaps a late decision from Hubert Fournier. They're being given every chance to make this change. Just waiting to make sure that they get the right man on and the right man off, it would seem. They only actually have 6 substitutes to choose from, Lyon. Only made one change yesterday, Hubert Fournier, who's just appearing there from the tunnel. But it will be number 38, Fard Mufi, who comes on, replacing Bishabats at the back, alongside Kone. And we are just about ready to get underway, it would seem. Not long now until the new Ligue 1 campaign gets underway, 2 weeks in fact. Lyon begin with a home game against Lorient. And it's going to be fascinating to see whether their young and talented squad can build on last season's success. A year older, a year wiser. It may well make a big difference. Villarreal have just under a month to wait for their first La Liga fixture, that away at Real Betis. Must again look to punch above their financial weight if they're to achieve a third successive top 6 finish. But if pre-season, Kevin Davis, is anything to go by, Villarreal are giving a good account of themselves so far.
Yeah, we can't speak highly enough about them so far. I mean, if they can win this game today, it'll go to Arsenal and see if they can win this cup. But in terms of where they are, considering the 4 weeks to go, they've been very good. The fitness levels have been really high in their organisation. Obviously got 2 great strikers at the moment, causing lots of problems. So I've been really impressed. If you can keep them fit, they can try and improve on that top 6 finish they managed to get last year again, and try and catch those teams above them. 16 points behind 5th last year, so it's going to be a big ask for them. But on what we've seen so far, they're more than capable.
Early effort from Bovu. Perhaps a shoot-on-sight policy from him at the start of the second half. He'll be keen to get on target for his new club, having signed from Guingamp during the summer. Their biggest outlay so far, actually, Lyon, during the summer, €5 million. Castillejo. Lovely skill again. What a player he looks, the man signed from Malaga. Fantastic technical ability, Samu Castillejo.
Yeah, I think we were surprised to see him. He took a couple of nasty knocks yesterday, but he looks fit enough, and he ain't really excited as yesterday, and he's got that bit of skill in his locker and what the crowd paid to come and see. He looks an exciting young player.
Remains to be seen how he will adjust in leaving Malaga there, his hometown club. He'd spent 8 years there from 2007.
Well, it looks like he's clearly creating a good environment for him to come in and learning, all the players getting on well and striving for the success that they want to achieve this year.
Well, one back by Villarreal, and up here to Gerard Moreno. Good to hear David James and Martin Keown praising the performance at half-time of Gerard Moreno, and indeed that of Leo Baptistão as well. We both said, Kevin, over the two games that those two have a really good understanding, and I think from listening to the comments of Marcelino just recently, it looks as though he is looking perhaps to add still more bodies to the side before the end of the transfer window, and the forward areas is an area of the team where he's perhaps most looking to do that, with with Vieto moving on, of course.
Of course, they've lost 2 or 3 strikers, haven't they? So they'll be looking to, of course, strengthen for numbers, but to give competition. These two probably look to start the season the way they're going. It's give those competition. Let them rest on the laurels. Yeah, they look good players, but you need competition within the squad, and I'm sure over the next 3-4 weeks they'll look to add to the squad and strengthen.
Headed by Kone, played wide by Darpino. Just a reminder, by the way, the point system at the Emirates Cup: 3 for a win, 1 for a draw as normal, but a point also awarded for each goal scored. Arsenal currently on 9 points at the top. Villarreal began the day with 5, but of course now have 6 by virtue of that penalty from Bruno Soriano. Wolfsburg on 1, Lyon on none. And they could be on the end of a very unwanted record, by the way, Lyon, because no team has ever failed to score across their 2 games at the Emirates Cup, and this is the 8th staging of the tournament. That would be a bit embarrassing, wouldn't it?
A little bit, especially after the disappointment of yesterday, but they have created chances in that first half, and they'll be encouraged by that, the manager, and they've hit the crossbar twice already. Had one clear-cut shot from Kalulu going clear through on goal, and the goalkeeper making a save. So at least they have created a few open chances in that first half, and I'm sure they'll look to try and score this second half. They won't want to go home with that record, of course.
Rukavina, teasing cross from the right back, and prodded behind by the substitute Mufi. Just love to get forward down that right flank. Rukavina, it's always a feature of Villarreal's play, the fullbacks bombing on.
Yeah, and of course they're trying to get crosses into the box. They've got those 2 strikers in there, and we've already seen they can get into great positions, and they're not stood still in there. They're pulling off and causing problems. Who's marking them? And like I say, we've been very impressed by them. Why not get the crosses in when you've got those 2 in there?
Taken short by Castillejo. Really busy inside that Lyon penalty area. Jokic, the left back forward. Castillejo turning, and now it's in towards Jokic again. Lyon having to defend in numbers here. It's a nice ball into Pina. Well defended once more by Mbumbuni. Was at fault, of course, for the penalty, Mbumbuni, with the shove on the back of Espinosa. Jokic. They find a way through here, Villarreal. Castillejo, brilliant ball over to Leo Baptistão. They're appealing for a handball there. Rukavina looking to keep it going for the La Liga side. Really did come at the defender so quickly from Leo Baptistão, but it will be worth another look.
Yeah, it's that man again, Castillejo. We've seen Baptistão take that position in the first half, just pulling off, and again the volley this time, that one was going on target and well defended in the end, but Castillejo is showing great ability. Well, you see, it's just going off target there, actually, but he's just getting himself into those positions, and it's just all about that movement and trying to free himself up by a couple of yards inside the box.
It's the 3rd time that Leo Baptistão has been loaned out by Atletico, previously been at Betis and Vallecano. Gerard Moreno gives chase. And it was off the heels of Kone and made it relatively easy in the end for Gorgelan, who immediately rolls out to Malbranc.
Again, Moreno stretching that back four, Kone having to cover, and the good thing I do like about Villarreal as well, it's not just the strikers, it's Espinosa that occasion, Castillejo, they all break their necks to try and get in the box as well and make the bodies up in there, trying to score goals, and obviously trying to improve on last season when they only scored 42 goals and missing their star striker who's obviously been sold. And I'd love to see that those midfielders breaking those necks and making those runs.
Has always been a club, Villarreal, with amazing character collectively. Overachieved so often. That very short spell, that one season where they were in the second tier, but it was Marcelino really who came in partway through that season in January of 2013 and has completely turned their fortunes around, got them promoted straight away, and then back-to-back European places. And there was a Strong challenge there coming in, and could be trouble for Trigueros. He was a little late there, the man who came on at half-time, replacing Bruno Soriano in the heart of midfield.
Yeah, both balls going in here. It's a 50-50. It wasn't the greatest touch from him there, and he just tries to recover it, and Prino just gets there before him, and on another occasion that might have warranted a yellow card. Two committed players, and unfortunately Prino came off worse on that occasion. Oh, it's Kalulu, sorry.
It was Kalulu. We saw that great chance in the first half. Is Kone to take the free kick. To say Villarreal's inconsistency, particularly in the second half of last season, can in part be blamed on the injury problems they had. So important they get a good pre-season as a squad in that regard. They lost key players for long periods of time. Bruno Soriano was one example. Asenio, the goalkeeper, Musacchio, really key at the back, still out at the moment. Giovanni Dos Santos and Vieto, who've since moved on, also had injury spells. And right now as well, they're without Jonathan Dos Santos, who will be playing for Mexico in the Gold Cup final tonight against Jamaica. So I guess he's unlikely to start the season as well. Lovely ball in by Gerard Moreno. Leo Baptista! Those two combining to devastating effect. It's a lovely finish by Leo Baptista, and I suspect that that's not the last time the Villarreal supporters will enjoy a goal crafted by those two this season.
No, and they deserve that. I mean, they've been excellent. We can't keep talking enough about them, but they're linked up again there, and they're just aware of each other, and it's a great ball out, and you see him again, he's always looking for the ball. He got a little bit lucky there with the break, but what a little reverse pass that is, and a little dink finish from Baptista, and he deserves that. I mean, all strikers love scoring goals, but the work rate they put in and the effort, the running in behind, the link-up play, they want to score goals, so all-round performance, and he's capped it off with a goal. Fantastic.
These players would only have met each other a matter of weeks ago, Kevin, and yet they're playing like they've played together for years. Do you ever remember a time when you as a player, as a striker, built up a rapport with a player and felt that you just knew what the other was going to do?
Yeah, I think so. You do get that, and this is, I mean, it's only going to blossom. They're only going to get better, and considering they've only been together for a short space of time, I'm astounded to see how well they seem to be aware of the runs and what each other are doing. Yeah, they maybe have done a lot of work on the training ground, but not an awful lot, so it would be mainly fitness. So to see what they're doing, it's fantastic. The likes of Kevin Nolan and Nicolas Anelka, they always seem to know whereabouts the ball was going to drop, and it's a different kind of understanding, but these two have really hit it off well.
Villarreal doubling their lead on the way to victory number 2 of the Emirates Cup. Castillejo. Pina came on at half-time of the first game against Wolfsburg and looked a steady presence in that midfield, Pina, and have to say he's been that again.
Yeah, I think they're blessed with players in that kind of position. I mean, Bruno Soriano and him, similar kind of players, always looking to get on the ball and link up and make those runs as well, in and beyond the midfield, trying to join the attack, and they're willing. You look at them here, they're hunting impacts. Yeah, it's a free kick there, but they're making life so difficult for Lyon, as they did for Wolfsburg yesterday.
Labidi turns away from Castillejo. Nice turn by Kalulu. Can Lyon get back into this game, give themselves a chance of getting on terms? Have two to pull back without reply. Malbronc. Kalulu calling for it, behind him though. Just hasn't clicked really at all for Lyon in the final third. Just that one moment where they had that chance where that ball was played right through the middle of the heart of the Villarreal defence in the first half. Kalulu it was who forced the save from Areola on that occasion, but there aren't too many other occasions when they've managed to get him behind.
No, not an open play. They've obviously had the chance from the corner where they hit the crossbar, and Malbranc had that effort from the edge of the box from a poor punch from the goalkeeper. But in terms of open play, the they're not carving out as many opportunities, and it's all down to the strikers and the difference between the movement in the two sets of strikers.
We're now going to see the current Ligue 1 Young Player of the Year here in Nabil Fekir, who was introduced much earlier than expected in yesterday's game against Arsenal because of an unfortunate injury to Clément Grenier. He's around 20 minutes in. This time he will replace Kalulu. Really exciting talent, Nabil Fekir. Lyon born, first joined the club in 2005, actually left their academy for a couple of years. Very much back at the club and has just signed a new contract extension until 2020. Says the club has captured his heart, and the supporters will be glad to hear that.
Yeah, he's a real talent, isn't he? We got a glimpse of him obviously yesterday, and looks a real talented player, great on the ball, technically very good, the vision, the passing, the lot. He's got the whole package, and we'll see how he does for the remainder of this game.
Another substitute, Mufi, doing well to win the throw-in. Darpina. There was an ask for Benzia to try and keep that in. Dieter Hacking on the phone. I wonder if that's a transfer that perhaps he's discussing. The Wolfsburg supporters will hope it's got nothing to do with the name of Kevin De Bruyne. Arsenal hoping to get their second victory of the tournament. Wolfsburg looking to hit back from their defeat against Villarreal. That live on BT Sport at 4:20. The final game of this year's Emirates Cup.
They could have been on the phone to my agent. I'm a free agent, you know.
Forward here for Gerard Moreno. He's done well here to hold off Kone. Castillejo to his right, instead finds Trigueros. And now it's Rukavina. Castillejo. Drive was by Manuel Trigueros.
Again, that opportunity's all come from Gerard Moreno, making life difficult for Kone once again, hustling him, hassling him, making it difficult, putting the pressure on, won the ball back, and they create the chance from it. It's fantastic to see, and the rest of his teammates will really appreciate that. And the work he's done over these last 2 days is fantastic. He's not scored a goal, but he's been great for the side.
Towering header clear finds Castillejo. To the legs of Bovu. Pina. Rukavina. Gerard Moreno here inside the area, has Castillejo in support. Again, he uses his strength to great effect, the centre forward. Trigueros. Gerard Moreno. It's more sumptuous football from Villarreal. Was there a push there by Kone? It was Gerard Moreno who went down.
Yeah, again, look at this one-touch football, and Moreno at the heart of it again, and it is a little nudge. I think it's good defending in the end, just eases him off, but one-touch football, fantastic to watch.
Lovely taste of tiki-taka. Nicely done by Malbranc, who's got it back again here. Chance for the captain. What a good block that was. It was Manuel Trigueros who threw himself in the way of that, sensed the danger, sensed the opportunity for Malbranc.
Yeah, that sums them up, the appetite to stop them from scoring, defending not only the attacking in numbers, but the get back in numbers and well, and that's a testament down to the fitness work that they've done, kept themselves in good nick over the summer, but come back in real good condition. We can see that.
Fekir with the ball over, and you'll see there the Arsenal team across the bottom of your screen. I can tell you that Mesut Ozil is the only player who starts today against Wolfsburg, who started yesterday, so 10 changes for Arsene Wenger's side. Said so that Petr Cech starts in goal for Arsenal. I'm sure he will get a wonderful reception. Very interesting as well that Nicholas Bentner will be starting up front for Wolfsburg. And of course another opportunity to see Kevin De Bruyne. How long will he be a Wolfsburg player? Desperately hoping to keep hold of him until the end of the summer. I guess many Wolfsburg supporters can't wait for the end of the window in that respect.
Yeah, of course you want to. You've had a fantastic season. You want to hold on to your best players and try and build on that. And see, it's going to be difficult for Wolfsburg to try and better what they did last season, finishing second, winning the German Cup. But can they close that gap on Bayern Munich? It's going to be tough for them, and there's teams obviously in and behind them as well.
A whole raft of changes then going to be made here. One of those coming off is Pina, who came on at half-time of the previous game. That victory over Wolfsburg. Also going to see Nahuel come on, replacing Castillejo. Nahuel it was who was so impressive in the game yesterday against Wolfsburg. He scored the winning goal. He was part of the Spanish under-19 side that have won this summer's European Championship. And what another good performance it's been from Leo Baptistao, combining so well up front with Gerard Moreno. And he's going to be given a rest for the closing stages. Jonathan Pereira will come on to replace him. Pereira, a former Spain under-21 international, signed from Real Betis in January of 2013, was loaned out to Vallecano in La Liga to begin with last season, but rarely featured, so then dropped down to the second tier, again on loan at Valladolid. Don't forget we have live action from the Women's Super League for you today. That is between Chelsea and Manchester City from Staines FC. Gets underway on BT Sport 1 at 6:30, that one. Gerard Moreno looking for Jonathan Pereira. Still no challenge there, which the referee wants to have a word about. The clear message to calm down, I think, to Gerard Moreno. Darpina finds Mvuemba, formerly of Portsmouth. Benzia unable to keep it in. Hubert Fournier will, I guess, in some ways be hoping that his players are holding a little bit back here because, of course, they're right at the end of their pre-season. Their next match is up against the champions PSG in the French Super Cup in Montreal this coming weekend. They really need to raise their performance in that game, although, of course, a very different side as Jonathan Pereira looks to go in here. Just about recovered there, Lyon. A last-ditch challenge to deny the forward.
Yeah, looking dangerous again. Again, they've done a lot of that last-ditch defending, and that's down to the style of play of Villarreal. They've been very creative, and in and around that final third, they've been fantastic. The football they play, the movement, the creating, it's probably in stark contrast to what Lyon have done, really.
Benzia. Has he really ever been on the edge of the game so far, Benzia? A player of great ability. It's a dangerous ball in towards the aforementioned Benzia. Instinctive effort. Hit the side netting.
Well, again, it's another chance, and you see it's just a straightforward cross in. He doesn't do much, gets across the defender and just tries to strike across that, and unfortunately for him and Lyon, that one hits the side net, and been pretty much the story of the Emirates Cup for them so far.
There's that challenge as well at the other end of the field on Jonathan Pereira. Really well timed as well, wasn't it, by Kone?
I think Kone's had a decent game. He's been up against it with those two strikers all afternoon, but he's stuck at it, and he's been one of the best players for Lyon on show, really. As I said, he's had a tough afternoon. He'll know after this he's been in the game, and that's down to those strikers.
Just in terms of Benzia, he has struggled to force his way into the plans of Hubert Fournier, the embarrassment of riches they have in the forward areas, Lyon. But I know that he's a big favourite of the president at Lyon, Jean-Michel Aulas, and he carries plenty of sway there, so it may well be that he perhaps gets more opportunities to show what he can do. Benzia is only still 20 years old, a French under-21 international.
It just looks like I mean, Villarreal, we said before, they've only been back 3 weeks, but they look like they've been back maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks. They look so well drilled. They all know the jobs, the fitness levels. I mean, yesterday and today, some of these players have played 2 games in 2 days. They just know what they're doing, the movement. Everyone knows in and out possession, what they're doing. And I think Lyon have got a lot of work to do in this next couple of weeks before the start of their season in terms of the movement and the structure of the side. And the manager will be thinking heavily about what he's going to do, who he's going to play. And I think it's been a disappointment tournament for them so far, definitely.
Just a reminder that no team has ever failed to score at the Emirates Cup. And there, Fournier very much hoping that his side doesn't set an unwanted record in that respect. Haven't created an enormous amount, though, throughout the game. They have those 2 efforts that came off the woodwork, set pieces involved, but as we were saying earlier, from open play, that seems to have been more of the problem. Espinosa now for Villarreal, who certainly have been more creative. Look at this run forward here from the left back, Bojan Jokic, in towards the back post, where Gerard Moreno was waiting, and onto the top of the goal.
Again, another chance created in the middle third of this pitch there. They're hustling away and winning the ball back with a tempo, and it allows them to get these opportunities. And look at the left back, he's made a 50-60-yard run to get up in support. And yes, the cross was disappointing in the end, but as I said before, they get forward together, they get back, and they're very, very well drilled. You can see that.
Darpino. Malbranc. The shot rattled the crossbar in the first half. Labidi. Mvwemba. Malbranc has that knack of being able to find space in midfield. It's the miscontrol by Mufi. Well, they're itching to get started, aren't they, the Wolfsburg players? Make up for that defeat yesterday against Villarreal. Certainly Dieter Hecking will want to see a response.
Yeah, we expected a bit more from them yesterday, having covered them last season. One of my favourite teams to watch in Europe, the way they attack the ball and throw caution to the wind at times. Got great talent, but yesterday they never really got going, and obviously we're hoping for a better display today.
Another great move, and Gerard Moreno looking to improvise. Still could be a chance. Wide. Fantastic build-up play. It was unlucky for Jonathan Pereira.
Yeah, good play again. You just see him attacking such numbers again and driving down this right-hand side. A great pass in behind again here, and you see he's clearly onside. Great ball across. I think he's going to try a back heel there, and it just falls for Pereira and just quite get it on target. But another good chance for Villarreal.
Really would have done Jonathan Pereira's confidence the world of good if he could have got on the score sheet there. But Marcelino really has brought a wonderful style of play and energy to this Villarreal side. You can see we've had the evidence right in front of us over the last couple of days as to why he's become so highly rated. And he's a coach who really has, well, done it the hard way, gone through the leagues. His coaching career began at the age of 33 in the Spanish lower leagues. He's moved to various clubs, moved up the ladder in that respect. Now coaching in La Liga, and of course in Europe as well, in the Europa League for the second successive season.
Well, the question is, can they get inside that top 5 and improve on last year? 2 top 6 finishes is fantastic. Looking at the teams that are above them, it's going to be difficult, but I think he'll be up for it. Trying to juggle that with the Europa League as well. It's going to be a big ask for them with this squad. If they can keep them fit and well, add 1 or 2 more additions, they'll be a good side this year. And looking forward to seeing how they do in the Europa League as well.
Nahuel with the ball in field. Jonathan Pereira looking for Gerard Moreno. Here's Malbranc. I think that is the key thing with Villarreal. It's what business they can get done between now and the end of the transfer window, because with that added responsibility of the Europa League, they need more bodies in the door. As Lyon look to make a change here, Moore Pai is going to be coming on and replace Maxime Darpino. Moore Pai, 21 years old, scored 4 goals in 20 appearances for the reserves. Last season, a regular at that level. He scored 7 in 26 appearances in the league for the second string the season before that. So he's certainly due a first-team opportunity with that much reserve team football under his belt.
Yeah, and they've earned that. He'll obviously impressed the manager in what he's been doing within that structure, so he's earned his opportunity now, and coming away on this tour and playing in these kind of stadiums, it can only help the young players and the experience that he's going to achieve from playing in these kind of stadiums in front of this crowd, and another one for the future for Lyon.
Nahuel, Gerard Moreno, it's got him behind Kone, who's recovered brilliantly again. What a good game he's had at the back, Kone. Cross coming in from Rukavina. I just thought that Gerard Moreno was going to get the reward there for some hard work today.
Yeah, he's had a good weekend, hasn't he? He's still running though. Played 65, 70 minutes yesterday and he's been asked to do the same again today, and he's still making those runs in behind with Kone again. Last-ditch desperate defending from him, but well done to Kone for sticking at the task. He's had a tough afternoon, but he's come out of it really well.
Nahuel has had an impact since coming on the substitute. Gerard Moreno with the flick. It was intended for Trigueros. Fekir, Benzia to his right. Up in support as well is Bovu. It's Benzia. He's taken it down really well. And the angle was just a little too tight, wasn't it, for Pai? He'll be slightly caught in two minds as to whether to go for goal with the angle the way it was, or to pull it across. Just over 15 minutes remaining at the Emirates. Benzia. The acrobatics. Well, it was worth a go. Certainly worth a go for Bovu. He's got that in his locker. Very technically good.
Yeah, I was about to say, look at this crossing the ball. There's only one in the box, that's the problem. But look at this for acrobats, and lucky from Bovo. He's drifted out of the game a little bit, but I think on this evidence you can see why he scored so many goals last year. But Lyon, they need to get more bodies in the box trying to score goals. One player in the box is just not good enough.
Offside flag up here against Jonathan Pereira. Villarreal certainly looking to give everybody a run here. Bailly, the last of those there, just taking off his tracksuit bottoms. Such a difficult balancing act for the head coach is Marcelino for Villarreal into when to bring players on and off in these sort of games. Big squads to take care of, make sure that everybody gets the right number of minutes. I'm sure it's all worked out to the second. Nahuel here just misjudged it. One of the few things that he's done wrong at the Emirates Cup. Nahuel, he's done really well when he's been involved from the start yesterday.
Yeah, took his goal well yesterday, didn't he? And again, he's one for the future. Really good player and exciting player, the kind of player you want to see. These young kids here today, you want to see these players exciting, the old type wingers getting at players 1v1, and he did well yesterday and was enjoying his football.
Bovu. Malbronc. Bovu. Really well cut out. And it's broken here for Malbronc, who will strike it. Here comes that triple change then by Marcelino. Iniguez being withdrawn here, the central defender being directly replaced at the back by Eric Bailly, the Ivory Coast international, who was excellent yesterday. I'd have to say against Wolfsburg, one of the real standout players for Villarreal in a good defensive performance. Espinosa being withdrawn here as well, and it's Acosta who comes on for him, the Uruguayan under-20 international Franco Acosta, joined the club in January of 2015. He's been assigned to the reserves in the second tier, and Gerard Moreno's afternoon is over. Alejo comes on for him, Ivan Alejo, 20 years old, a former Spain under-19 international. Has been signed from Atletico, played in the UEFA Youth League for them last season. A free transfer, He's the first signing of the summer by Marcelino. He's penned a 3-year deal. Ivan Alejo. Already calling for it here, Ivan Alejo. It's a good first touch. Gets away from Bovu. An early sign of intent. He has Franco Acosta waiting in the middle. Great skill by Alejo, and it's caused problems there from Gorgelat. He just had to backpedal a little bit.
Yeah, what a start for Alejo there, driving down this right-hand wing, and again, 1v1, quite happy, driving, committing players, and a little step inside, outside. Deflects across, just goalkeeper having to tip that one over for a corner, but good play from him, great start.
Here's Alejo again. Great close control. Jonathan Pereira, who's gone for the return. Taken off his toe by Kone, and it's up towards Fekir. Now by Trigueros, right in front of the referee, and he produces a yellow card for the Villarreal captain, wearing the armband since he replaced Bruno Soriano at half-time.
Yeah, a little bit untidy from Trigueros there, and earned himself a yellow card, and you say it's a friendly game, but he just epitomises what Villarreal are all about. They're working hard and tirelessly as a team within the formation, and they've had a great tournament so far.
Labidi's pass. Fekir provided 9 assists in Ligue 1 last season. Fekir more than any other Lyon player. Malbron. Murphy doing well to win the throw-in. Lay off by Pai, back to Mufi. In towards Bovu, and the clearance by Eric Bailly. Signed by Villarreal, essentially Bailly as a replacement for the Arsenal-bound Gabriel Paulista in January. Benzia's pass. Mvuemba. Malbron. Fekir. They find a way through here, Lyon. They found this Villarreal backline so difficult to break down. They squeeze the play, make it difficult to get in behind them. Benzia. Nicely done. Labidi looking to get away from Alejo, who shows that doesn't mind doing the defensive side of the game. Trigueros. Alejo caught by Benzia.
Yeah, a little bit clumsy from Benzia there, just pulls his legs away, he knows what he's doing, a little bit of frustration obviously. It's been a disappointment tournament for him and his club.
And coming up next Sunday from 2:30, the Community Shield live from Wembley Stadium, Arsenal against Chelsea. And don't forget as well the return of Fletch and Sav on Saturday the 8th of August from Old Trafford. It will be live and ahead of our first Barclays Premier League offering of the season, Manchester United against Tottenham. Malbron. Mvuemba. Rukavina. Quickly won back by Bovu, and now it's Mvuemba for Lyon. Fekir. Benzia. 4 forward in this attack for Lyon. It's a good move, and he tried to beat the goalkeeper. Areola at his near post there.
Yeah, much better from Benzia now, getting in this position, this dangerous position here, actually committing someone. Great skill, drives to the byline, but again, the end product was disappointing. The cutback was on.
Benzia with the ball over, and the challenge was seen by the referee. Had a good view of that. Kone just wouldn't quite come down quickly enough for the big centre-back. Bailly looks to get it clear, as did Trigueros. challenge there on Pai inside the area by Eric Bailly. Alejo. One of the best periods of the game, I think, for Lyon. And that is, well, it's going to be a bit of afters here. Alejo not happy with the back heel from Benzia, which has hit him in the head. And it's no surprise to see the yellow card. I'm not entirely sure they intended to hit him there, but no doubt about the initial trip, which was naughty.
Yeah, there's an incident, obviously, a couple of minutes ago with Benzia, and I think it's just that frustration more than anything, but there's no need for that. I mean, he could have got booked a minute ago, and that's a kick out there, and then a bit of petulance from him there. He obviously knew of his whereabouts, but I'm not sure he intended to hit him in the head. If not, it's a very good piece of skill, but
I think he'll just be grateful, Benzia, that this isn't a competitive match, because the one thing that stood out for me in all of that, Kevin, was the swing out that he did.
yeah, again, it's born out of frustration. Obviously, there's no contact, and he's just obviously not too happy with his performance, the side performance since they've come over to the Emirates. But you know, you've got to keep your head. You don't want to be getting suspended and obviously missing out at the start of the season. And I wouldn't be surprised if they've got any subs left, if they bring him off now, just to calm him down a little bit.
There was one thing that Hubert Fournier talked about in his post-match press conference yesterday. He felt that his side, individually and collectively, just lost their cool, lost their calm a little bit. Talked about the effect psychologically on the players of Grenier having to go off as well, which in a way is understandable. Off Vallejo for a throw into Lyon. Lyon desperately looking to create something as Jonathan Pereira hits wide. The French side only actually had 6 shots on target across both of their games in the Emirates Cup. In both occasions, none in the second halves of those 2 games. And that is disappointing for Hubert Fournier's side, particularly when you consider how close they are to competitive action with the French Super Cup coming up next weekend.
Yeah, and of course, there's 2 weeks to go, but there's no doubt when he gets back home, they'll be monitoring and analysing what's wrong and what's not quite happened, and they've got 2 weeks to put it right. It's as simple as that. It's a good thing that it happens now. We mentioned earlier in the show they lost yesterday. It was humiliating, but it's a good thing that it happens now for them. They can address it and work on it in the next 2 weeks, and hopefully come the kick-off to the league season, they'll be right.
Fekir, no doubting the huge potential of Lyon. Easy to forget they were Champions League semi-finalists as recently as 2010. Made the Europa League quarter-finals in 2014. Fekir, Malbranc. Fekir continued his run, decided to go wide instead. Fekir was calling for it and gets it as well, tries to spin and heading for that byline. And the referee indicating a goal kick. Of course, the atmosphere starting to build a little bit more at the Emirates ahead of the house final game of the 2015 Emirates Cup. Arsenal up against the Bundesliga runners-up from last season, Wolfsburg. That game shortly after the conclusion of this one. Kick-off is at 4:20, and of course we will bring you full live coverage on BT Sport.
Yep, and of course Arsenal favourites for that, to lift this trophy for the 4th time in their history, but obviously got to get past Wolfsburg, and Villarreal have set the gauntlet down with another win here today. 6 points plus the goals that they've scored. They're well on top and giving Arsenal that food for thought, but Arsenal was scintillating yesterday. The way they put Lyon to the sword was a pleasure to watch, and I'm sure they'll be looking to do the same today against Wolfsburg.
Bovu finds Mvuemba. Kone has been linked with the Turkish side Beşiktaş just recently. Bakary Kone. Pai. Fekir wins it back for Lyon. Malbranc. Less than 3 minutes of normal time to go. Unlikely to be too much added on if the previous games are much to go by. Jonathan Pereira with the layoff. Nahuel. The decision goes Lyon's way. Murphy it is who's been hurt here.
Yeah, again, nothing too much in there. I think he's just got hold of his shoulder and he's gone down. Again, screaming and crying, but he'll be fine.
Jokic. Jonathan Pereira with a darting run. Not too much in the way of support up with him. Franco Acosta is one of them. Murphy with the clearance for Lyon. Petr Cech will be starting in goal for Arsenal against Wolfsburg. How much he must be looking forward to that, but Villarreal with a chance to make it 3. Jonathan Pereira unable to take the chance.
Yeah, again, we've seen this all weekend, haven't we? Those little runs on the shoulder, and this time Pereira just tried to do the outside of his boot and agonisingly just wide for him, but good play again, and should have done better, hit the target, but just tried it with the outside of his left boot, just clipped the post and wide.
Jokic trying to win it back for Villarreal. Ivan Alejo. Gets away from Mvuemba. Really good ball in towards Jonathan Pereira too. He just couldn't quite grow enough to get to that, the centre forward. Jokic. Alex Garcia. Villarreal finishing this game the stronger of the two. And they have a 2-0 lead. Alejo. Rukavina. Bai. Now Fekir on the counter-attack here for Lyon. Furthest forward is Bovu. Trigueros. Into the 60 seconds to be added on as Jonathan Pereira gives chase. Just the 30 seconds or so remaining. Another good performance, Kevin, that we've seen from Villarreal.
Yeah, I think there's a surprise package. We expected a bit more from Wolfsburg and Lyon, with the season just around the corner for those two teams. And Villarreal, considering they've only been back 2 or 3 weeks, 4 weeks to go yet in terms of their preparation, they've been outstanding over this weekend, and 2 great performances and lots of positives for the manager.
Ivan Alejo doing well to win the corner. He's really looked impressive since coming on, the 20-year-old signed from Atletico just recently on a free transfer. The last thing you want to see right at the end of added time in a pre-season friendly is an injury. And the referee has indeed brought the game to a close. It's back-to-back victories for Marcelino and Villarreal. Really impressive stuff from the La Liga side over the 2 days. Certainly a job well done by them. It's finished Lyon 0, Villarreal 2. And of course it is Arsenal who will come up next on BT Sport. Petr Cech starting in goal. 10 changes from the side that started against Lyon yesterday in that 6-0 victory. Mesut Ozil is the only survivor from that side. A chance for the Arsenal supporters here to see so many of their stars in action. I think certainly Petr Cech is the biggest draw of them all. He really could be a game changer for Arsenal in goal. And let's head down now to Daryl Cohen.
thank you very much, Adam. Enjoyed that first game. Petr Cech in an Arsenal jersey might be slightly surprising for some of those fans. Maybe they didn't quite see it coming during this summer, but he's about to play at the Emirates in that shirt for the very first time. This is the Emirates Cup table. Villarreal have won and scored 2 goals in the process, which means they now have 10 points. It means Arsenal, if they score, will likely win this because they'll have a better goal difference. So even if they were to lose and score, Arsenal would probably lift the Emirates Cup. But they want to get 2 wins. They want to build on yesterday's performance as well against Lyon. They won by 6-0. David James and Martin Keown are with me. Lots to look back on from that first game, chaps, including a really good performance by Villarreal again, David.
Very impressive, very, very impressive. Again, given that they've only just started their pre-season, they did look like a side that knew each other very well. And with Moreno and Baptistao up front, it was, as I said in commentary, I mean, these two look like they've been playing with each other for years, let alone a few days.
Clear penalty, clear as day in the first half there.
Well, that's what you get sometimes with young defenders. Captain puts it away, Bruno, nicely there. But there was a good relationship with the front two, and I think, you know, Lyon and Kone at the back looked like he was did very well in the game, but as he talked about basic mistakes that they were making, and then in the end Baptistao got his goal, which we were calling for, because a new signing there needs to get on the score sheet and look very impressive.
Absolutely essential for Marcelino, the Villarreal manager, to see the two of them play together. Given that Vieto left for Atletico Madrid, they need a new partnership up top. Baptistao, as Martin's just mentioned, come in and done very well in this game. He looks as if he's been playing with Moreno for quite some time. Look at the understanding there.
And it's a beautifully worked goal, and I mean, finishing 6th last season in the Liga. I mean, you'd think, looking at this as the opening of their pre-season, they got a good season ahead of them, and going to look forward to seeing them in the Europa League for sure.
Moreno, there's vision. He's got his back to play. He wants to put it into that little area. Baptistao knows if I can get on my bike early, this fellow will find me. And there's a nice little relationship that they're forming. Early days, they would have only come into contact with each other 2 or 3 weeks ago, so they're slowly building that partnership nicely.
Lyon failed to score in this tournament. They did come very close again today, though. Steed Milbronc, we all know him very well, came back, ex-Spurs player, came back to the Emirates. So unlucky not to score here.
Yeah, he's got to keep it down. It was a good opportunity, but I don't count that as hitting the target, because obviously it hasn't gone in, and the goalkeeper out of position. That was their biggest, well, one of their best chances for sure.
Cody hit the bar as well.
I think, should have done better. There's good contact on it, granted, because he's got a lot of power in the header, but
he's unlucky there,
rather
isn't
than
he?
trying to, no, he's not unlucky. It's a free header he should put in.
Well, he's unlucky for me. I thought he did well getting in there. I always like to see a centre half.
He did, Martin. Very unlucky. Let's hear from Steed Milbronc right now. He's with Rafa Honigstein.
Is that something that you just shrug off as a pre-season problem, or do you have to look at these games and try to solve these problems for the season problem?
You know, it's a pre-season. It's very hard for us, especially yesterday. Today it was another team with a young lad, so it was very, very difficult.
And where do you need to improve? Because your season's only around the corner. You've got the French Super Cup game going up against PSG.
I think we need more to be more focused on the pitch. We were too relaxed, and we need to improve on everything, I think.
Looking forward to the season, do you think you'll be able to challenge Paris for the title this year?
I think it will be very difficult to challenge Paris, but we will see. We have a very important game next week against them, the trophy champion, and we will see.
And finally, you've played here in the